Tonight, the Stoke Haunted Myths and Legends team would like to take you on a little journey. A journey that has taken us a number of months to get to where we are today. If you believe in ZOZO, you may think again after you've watched this. More than any other tool used for spirit communication, the Ouija board attracts a special sort of fear. Many who use boards report negative experiences with malevolent spirits. However, in recent years, one particular entity appears to have been encountered at an alarming rate. It goes by the name ZOZO. This mysterious figure has acquired a dark reputation. Some say it is from hell. Some even say that just the mention of his name will conjure the creature. Almost everyone that encounters ZOZO agree it's demonic. Yet prior to 2009, it was unheard of. As a Google search, ZOZO only trickled into life in 2009. It was in March 2009 that a man from Oklahoma called Darren Wayne Evans posted on a true ghost story sharing site. His post began with a warning. Ouija boards are not toys and should be used with strict caution and should not be messed with at all. He then went on to describe a series of terrifying encounters that he had had with the spirit ZOZO. At one point he asked, "Where is paradise?" It replied, H-E-L-L, hell. Evans even attributed the near-death experiences of his daughter to ZOZO. Many people were intrigued by Evans' story, and Evans set up a website stylizing himself as a zozoologist. Shortly after, Darren's story came to the attention of filmmakers, One World Studios. They made the film I Am ZOZO in 2012. In 2014, Evans once again was asked to showcase his encounters with ZOZO. The popular TV paranormal series Ghost Adventures visited him at his home and made him a feature of the show. Since fame found him, the self-styled zozoologist's story has changed every time he's told it. It was in 2016 that a completely new facet of ZOZO's story began to unfold. At this point, Evans was working on a book with paranormal author Rosemary Ellen Guiley. In May, Evans conducted a telephone interview with a New Jersey newspaper. It was then that he revealed that in 1982 he had discovered a mysterious Ouija board under his girlfriend's home. The board was odd. On the front it had ZOZO written on it. Until this point he had never mentioned it before. Upon the release of his book, The ZOZO Phenomenon, the board was mentioned again, but this time ZOZO was written on the back. His book even illustrated where the word ZOZO was on the back of the board. In fact, he states in the book that on the front it said William Fold Ouija. Not surprisingly, no photographic evidence has ever been shown of the actual board. So, is there any real truth to what Darren Evans has told us about ZOZO? The first mention of ZOZO appears in Le Dictionnaire Infernal, a dictionary written by French demonic writer. Evans used this article to give credibility to his ZOZO demon. But when he translated into English, this is what it says, taken from the latest edition published in 1863.
The village of Tell, 3 leagues from Amiens, in 1816 gave show to a girl who wanted to pretend to be possessed. She was, she said, in the power of 3 demons, Mimi, Zozo, and Crapolet. An honest ecclesiastic warned the authorities, recognizing that this girl was ill. We took her into a hospital, and he would no longer speak of possession. The king immediately sent his surgeon and 2 other doctors to examine the case. When the possessed girl was brought before these doctors, she was interrogated. She rattled nonsense. The prior asked her questions in Latin, to which she responded badly. Finally, it was found in some papers that a few years earlier she had been whipped in the public square for trying to impersonate a possessed person. She was condemned to perpetual imprisonment. The author of this book regards the case as a complete hoax. He goes on to describe other, what he perceives to be genuine, cases of possession. Indeed, he even concludes the ZOZO extract with the sentence, "Nonetheless, there are real cases of possession." As for the entry for ZOZO itself, there is hardly anything at all. A single, unimpressed sentence which directs the reader back to the aforementioned debunking entry. In short, ZOZO is thoroughly unmasked. Unfortunately, it appears to be the case that those who have encountered this text have not translated it, and have therefore jumped to wrong conclusions. So what did Evans encounter? In his book, he offers no photograph of the ZOZO Ouija board that he supposedly found. However, a sketch is provided, which shows ZOZO carved in stylized handwriting on the back of the board. This same stylization is used on the front cover of the book. Although peculiar, it is not unique. It is similar to Led Zeppelin member Jimmy Page's famous insignia, ZOZO. The curved tail of the Z and the dots in the O's are identical. In his book, Darren Evans even states that he instantly made the connection to Led Zeppelin upon apparently finding this board. Evans states that the ZOZO symbol has magical origins, as though attempting to suggest that it has been used for historic nefarious purposes. When one traverses the pages of history, this is what can be found. The ZOZO symbol originally appears in Unnatural Phenomena, a 16th century book written by renowned Renaissance scholar Girolamo Cardano. The insignia is categorized as an astrological symbol relating to Saturn. Centuries later, in 1844, the symbol appears again, in a slightly altered form. This time, it is classified as a protective Kabbalistic symbol. In short, the ZOZO insignia is not a demonic symbol. Led Zeppelin member Jimmy Page most likely adopted the symbol as his personal rocket insignia, as it can be linked to his astrological sign. Moreover, Saturn is linked to the metal lead, and so also the name of Page's band, Led Zeppelin. Above all, ZOZO is not a word, it is a symbol. To use a Saturnian protective symbol as evidence for the existence of a demonic entity is beyond ridiculous. Not to mention the fact that the supposed entity is called ZOZO, which is a different word altogether. Surely a demon of great malign power would be able to spell their own name correctly. However, if this is not enough to make you question the reality of Darren Evans' story, then consider the following. Why has Evans never mentioned this mysterious ZOZO Ouija board before? Surely his appearance on the television show Ghost Adventures was the perfect time to record this discovery. All of this makes it very hard to believe that this board ever existed. Yet, the most condemning piece of evidence against Evans' claim is that he is a devout fan of Led Zeppelin and Jimmy Page. On his ZOZO website, he even features the official Led Zeppelin website as a cool link, and advertises Jimmy Page's autobiography. There are no stated links to ZOZO the Demon by Evans, just a side note to say that he is a fan. In his recent book, he also concedes that he is a devotee. Given the stylized similarities between the supposed Ouija board and Jimmy Page's personal insignia, not to mention the lack of reference to the board prior to 2016, is the invention of the ZOZO Ouija board simply Darren Evans' silent tribute to his Led Zeppelin idol? In the years since Darren Evans came into the limelight, there has been other literature published relating to ZOZO. One book which claims to be based on true events is unimaginably titled ZOZO Personal Encounter. However, when one visits the author's website, one finds an appraisal of Darren Evans. The author states that none of what he has achieved would have been possible without him. Naturally, this book does not predate 2009 and Evans' original story. The more one looks, the more one finds these same sorts of links. Each time there is a mention of ZOZO, it can be undoubtedly linked back to Darren Evans. The same can be said in regards to the infamous ZOZO video on YouTube, which achieved viral status after claiming to show real footage of a girl become possessed by ZOZO after using a Ouija board. Its view count on a YouTube channel titled Ouija Warning currently stands at close to 5 million. However, this video is owned by a film company called Stars Media. Stars Media has links to the producers and owners of One World Studios, the studio which made the film based on Darren Evans' story, I Am ZOZO. If this video is genuine ZOZO footage, then why are so many film studios and producers involved? And why, once again, can it all be linked back to Darren Evans? The final piece of the ZOZO puzzle is what happens in the aftermath of 2009. After Evans posted his story online, people began to search for ZOZO Demon on the internet. What followed were others coming forward with their own encounters with the supposed demon. If ZOZO is nothing more than Darren Evans' invention, then how does one account for these independent testimonies? We have two theories. First is that the ZOZO phenomenon is a case of reality imitating fiction. ZOZO is not demonic, but human phenomenon. It is a being that has been imagined into existence by collective psychology. Similar to ZOZO is Slenderman, who despite originating in a fictional creepypasta, has been sighted all across the world in the years following his creation. In many ways, ZOZO is the Slenderman of the Ouija board. The more people believe in something, the more real something becomes. Our thoughts are having a physical effect on the world around us. Since 2009, an entire history has been invented and constructed upon, consciously or otherwise, by each individual who encounters the ZOZO myth. Darren Evans was the catalyst for this myth. Now we are in the midst of the snowball effect. The other explanation for the sudden appearance of ZOZO in personal testimonies after 2009 is darker still. Demonic beings feed off our fears. Since 2009, the paranormal community has learned to fear ZOZO, the Ouija board demon. Many believe that entities have the ability to read our minds. When users of Ouija boards pick up the planchette with ZOZO in mind, they may very well be opening themselves up to be manipulated by malevolent beings who purposefully adopt the ominous name of ZOZO. Through the fabrication of ZOZO, Darren Evans has created the ultimate weapon for malevolent beings to use against us. Either way, the story of ZOZO always leads back to Darren Evans. As far as we can tell, there is not, and never has been, a demon named ZOZO. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and remember to subscribe for more of the paranormal.
The more research that you tend to do on the subject of ZOZO, the more complicated it becomes. I was very surprised to find that Rosemary Gillies' book of A to Z Demons actually didn't have the name ZOZO in it at all. This is surprising considering her collaboration sometime later with Darren Evans on his book and film ZOZO, where she seemed to suddenly become aware that there was such a demon of existence. Is she in it for fame? Is she in it for fortune? Or are they both in it together somehow for fame and fortune? Whatever it is, I know that I can't personally take what they say as gospel. As I've said before, the more you look, the more cracks that you'll find in the ZOZO story. I'm Claire Atherton and I'm part of the Stoke Haunted Myths and Legends team. If you like what you've seen here tonight, then please add, rate and subscribe. Share us to all of your friends. For now, I will leave you with what we have presented you with. Good night.